Okay, we're going to drive past Winchester Bay on the Oregon coast here. I got a lot of videos of Winchester Bay if you go to my playlist and look for them. And that's it. That's Winchester Bay. I hope you didn't blink. No, there's a lot to do down there if you go drive around. There's a ton of stuff to do. We're just at the top of the hill up here by Winchester Bay, up by the Umpqua Lighthouse. You get a lot more fog on the top of the hills. Make sure you turn on your lights. Nobody else can see you. There's the ocean overlook right there. We just passed the Coos County state line. Coos County line. See the difference when the light comes through the trees? It was dark back there, and now look, just a little bit of light makes the whole world look better. That's really the essence of the Christian message. The light of Christ, the light of God, shining on your life, makes your life, 100-fold better. And then they got Eel Lake back there and 10 Mile Lakes. Eel Lake and 10 Mile Lakes. This is Lakeside, a few miles north of Coos Bay. A lot of fishing going on around here. A ton of fishing. There's Eel Creek. There was like 25 geese flying right next to the road here. It's a very beautiful place, all these small little towns on the Oregon coast. All the small towns from Astoria down to Brookings, they all have something amazing about them. I've been to all of them dozens of times. I've lived on the Oregon coast 23 years, so by the grace of God and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, that's what Christianity is. It's also big sand dunes. From Florence, Oregon down to Coos Bay is 50 miles of sand dunes. That brings a lot of tourism out here, that sand. People love that sand. Look at those tall trees lining the road there. You have to be extremely careful and watchful when you're driving early in the morning, because everybody's trying to go to work and they're still half asleep and they're full of coffee and sugar. So you have to be the one that watches out for them, because they are out of their wacko minds in the morning. I mean, just psychologically speaking, they're being forced to do something they don't want to do. Go to work and make their mortgage payment, their credit card payments, their student loan payments, and both their new car payments. You see these people here? They're all being forced to do something that they don't want to do. Pay off all the debt that they took out. If you don't take out any debt in your life, you don't have to go to work like regular people and make $50,000 a year. You can just have any job you want, make $25,000 a year. You don't have any debt, live in an apartment, and be extremely happy in life. But if you have all that debt, you gotta go, 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 go. There goes a brand new fancy electric car for $65,000. Nobody's paying cash for any of this stuff. It's all on payments. 16-ton, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. I go off to the mine, and then I give all my money to the company store. Remember that old song? Big Bad John? He goes to work in the mine all day because of the money he borrowed from the banks. This is mile marker 228 on the Oregon coast driving south. At the Coos Bay Bridge now. It's about 2.5 miles probably. Look at that good old boy on the bike picking up cans on the side of the road. I see him down here a lot on his bicycle picking up cans in the morning. I don't think he's homeless. I think he's just one of those guys that gets exercise and goes picks up cans for free money. You only need 10 cans and you got another $1. In Oregon, it's 10 cents a can. Oh, 16-ton, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. That lady's driving a car and her ad on the back is taxidermy. We will stuff your dead animals. It's just not something you see every day. It's a pretty common thing around here, but it's obviously probably her husband's business, most likely. If I'm wrong, I apologize. And she's taking the car somewhere. What does your husband do for a living? He puts stuffing inside dead animals. And then people display them in their house. Oh, yeah, that's not something I've really been into. I like hunting. I used to do a lot of hunting and fishing, but I never took the animal and stuffed it full, you know, and put it in my room and said, hey, remember back when I shot you like 30 years ago? And then I had you stuffed and put you on the coffee table for all my friends to see. And I'm not sure who they're advertising to. It's not like the butcher, you know, you take your cow down to the butcher, you know, that has like 30% of the population would be interested in that. But to have your dead animal, only about 1% of the population stuffs their animals and puts them in you know, in their house. Like 1%. So I really wonder, is the ad on the back window of the car really working? Because only 1% of people actually want this to be done. I don't think the ad on your car is going to get any new customers. There's got to be another way to contact people who want their animals stuffed. I thought I saw the train up here with all the logs. I could be wrong. Look at those loggins. Thank God for the loggers. They make all the roads in the forest so you can go hiking in them. That's just my opinion. Well, the train's up here, but that's just some empty cars. I don't see the engine up here moving them around. Look at this out the window. That's the Coos Bridge. You can't even see it. It's way over there. You can see the one part, but you can't even see the bridge because it's so foggy. It's only 8 a.m. in the morning, so I think I'll just turn around here and well, let me see. I gotta pull up here and turn around. There's the train bridge over there. But it looks like it's open, so I don't think the train will be going over it today. There's someone living in their van down by the river. Or like Tommy Boy used to say, I'm living in a van down by the river. Well, we got millions of Americans living in vehicles today. And that's just the way it is. Goes a logging truck. Let's drive over the bridge. It'll be completely covered in fog. A big blanket of fog up here. It'll be beautiful. people won't slow down because, like I said in this video, they're on their way to work because they borrowed too much money. Giving America the ability to borrow money has ruined America. There were no banks borrowing money back in the 1940s. So in the last 85 years, you gave the average working class American the ability to borrow money and make interest payments. Do you know that down in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, they'd never take your house loan past 20 years? I know because I was alive then. I'm 63 years old. They never took your house loan past 20 years. They never took a car loan past 3 or 4 years. So when you give Americans the ability to borrow $400,000 for a house today at 30 years, your life is almost over right there. You borrow the money at 30, when you're 60, it's paid off. If you make every single payment, 30 years times 12, 360 payments on time and with perfection, and you always have the money and you never lose your job or nothing in 30 years. And then you'll be 60 years old and you only got 15 years left and it's over. And the banks became billionaires worldwide. And the people who borrow the money became broke. So they raised the price of your house, which destroys inflation. Well, it creates inflation. So then they double the price of your house every 30 years to make you think like you got ahead. But I guarantee if you put all that money in the bank that you've been making for 30 years, you would have triple what your house would have been worth. And then people say, well, where are we going to live? You could live in a one-bedroom apartment with 2 kids until they're 6 years old. And then you can move to a 2-bedroom apartment until they're 15 years old. And you can be saving all that extra money every single month for 20 years. All right, we're in Coos Bay. But that's not the American way. That's not what they trained you to do. In America, it's all about going into debt. I don't have any debt. I'm buying a house. I don't have any debt. I just bought a car. I mean, that's how people think. You don't think your house and car is a debt. This lady called this financial program. The guy said, okay, do you have any other debt besides your credit cards, your student loan, your house payment, and your personal loan? She goes, nope, that's all the debt I have. She said, outside of our 2 cars. And the guy says, well, are you making payments on them? She said, well, yeah, they're 2 brand new cars. We're paying like $1,500 a month. He said, honey, that's called debt. That's what debt is. She said, I don't consider the cars as debt because I have to have them. All righty. No, he said, sweetheart, that's debt. I mean, if you're to the point in life where you can't even recognize what debt is, then how are you ever going to become debt-free? I mean, I could say, Hey, I'm debt free. All I owe is my house and my cars. I'm telling you, America has gone crazy in the last 30 years. Since the 1990s. But I think it's just come out more. Look at that guy jogging. It's just cut. Here's some people. You see, that guy's jogging with big muscles, and these people are choosing to be homeless. And they're only about 5 years difference in age. One guy chooses to jog and lift weights, which is free. It doesn't cost anything to jog and lift weights. And the other person chooses to live in the gutter and be homeless. It's a choice. You can be homeless and still jog and lift weights and better your life. But the country is full of a bunch of bleeding hearts today. They think every homeless person is 100% innocent and has never done anything wrong to become homeless. You know, I talked to a lot of homeless people in my lifetime, and the homeless people are not stupid. They will tell you 60% of homeless people are on drugs, and about 30% are mentally ill. And only 10% are there not by their own choice. 60% are on drugs or have warrants for their arrest, or, you know, in some other state, so they're trying to run away. 30% are mentally ill. They don't even know they're standing outside. And about 10% are homeless because they did something stupid to get there and they're trying to get out. That is the truth about homelessness, and that is why it never gets solved. We need to, you know, like Donald Trump said, we need to open up a bunch of mental institutions and get people help that can't help themselves. And the other 60% who are just on drugs or alcohol, we need to get them into treatment and counseling and some kind of cheap housing. But that'll take 10 years right there. If you start right now, it'll take 10 years. California spent, what was it, like $17 billion. I think it was $25 billion to be. In the last 10 years, they spent over $25 billion trying to solve the homeless problem. And the homeless problem increased. It never went down. So, you know, you see this stuff on the YouTube videos. Where did the $25 billion go? It went to employee wages. Like, they have people making $250,000 a year in Los Angeles to walk around and ask homeless people if they're doing okay. And they make $250,000 a year to walk around. You can look it up. I mean, it's all public information. That just sounds crazy. Now, I got nothing against homeless people. I don't care if people are homeless. It doesn't really affect your life any. Because there's less than 1% of the American population is homeless. And less than 2% live in their cars and are homeless. And if you combine less than 3% of all people who are retired in a motorhome, a trailer, a truck camper, whatever they're driving on the country, and the people living in their cars, and the homeless people, are less than 3% of the population. Look at those guys jogging. So it really doesn't affect you, you know, in your four-wheel drive, your house, a shotgun, a rifle, and a four-wheel drive. Country boy can survive. It doesn't affect your life at all. So if they want to lay on the street, I really don't, it doesn't bother me personally. Now, I don't believe we should pay for them to do it. That guy, that truck there just went through a red light. Right over there. I don't believe if you want to lay around on the street, I don't believe that you should be legally allowed to take my tax dollars, your tax dollars, and give to people who want to lay on the street all day and do drugs. No. I know how to solve every problem in America. Take away the funding. Take away the funding. Don't give them free money to lay around, and they will find a job, or they will beg for money, or they will starve, and then anybody that I've ever met starving will find a job. Look at this guy. That is a cool four-wheel drive cam. I'm going to end the video right here. I'm at Walmart. That is a really cool four-wheel drive high top in the Walmart parking lot. That thing is sweet. I bet he's living in it full time. Now, how can one guy get a sweet $50,000 setup like that, and another guy with the same education, the same school system, the same everything, is laying in the gutter, you know, pooping his pants? Because one thing the Constitution guarantees is free will, freedom of choice. If you want to go out and make $50,000 and build this sweet rig up like this, America allows you to do that. If you want to lay in the gutter and poop your pants all day, America allows you to do that. I'm not trying to sound gross. I'm just telling you, that's the American way. It's freedom to do whatever you want for each person, as long as you're not breaking the law and as long as you're not harming other people's personal property.